I'd like to look at some of the issues with bodywork on this recently restored Ferrari 365. We're starting with a very close-in view. And what you can see here is that the paint is starting to crack. And when we back away, we're looking at the area right above the headlamp. And we can move in and we can see some cracking here, see some defects here. There are a few more of these cracks going around the vehicle. I believe that what's going on is the cracks are shrinkage from having too much filler on this car. Now to go around here, listen to that. That sound is really the sound of tapping plastic, not tapping metal. This car, according to our paint gauge, has a great deal of coating material on it. It has more than 50 thousandths of an inch, which is the limit our tool can measure, where ideally, even if the car is skim coated and sanded with filler for perfect flatness, the coating in total shouldn't be more than 8 to 12 thousandths of an inch, but this car is at least 5 times that and probably more. I'm also troubled here by the poor quality of the chrome. You can see, looking here where my finger is, you can see that there's rust and pitting in the chrome brackets, which are visible. Looking down from above, it's rusted behind the bumper, and the chrome just doesn't have a good, bright look to it. This car, these windshield moldings, the moldings are all sandblasted, and even if the moldings are no longer available, these moldings can surely be repaired. The windshield itself is really badly pitted, and that's, to say the least, is a disappointment. This car and the blue one came back to us with no mirrors, but this is a 1970 automobile, and they had to have outside mirrors by US law. I also question, with this being a 1970 car, why it has non-headrested seats, because again, it wasn't legal to sell cars in America without headrested seats, so why is this different? Now, looking inside here, putting aside the issue of the fit of the doors, I'm a little troubled by the fact that the inside of the door, this shaping is all plastic filler. The door scan wraps around and it's crimped and welded, and that's completely invisible under a layer of filler. Looking inside here, this is also filler, and in shutting it, and you listen to this, and it sounds like we're tapping a fiberglass car. It's frankly really troubling to me. It shouldn't be. The car has a plug where a radio antenna used to go. This is obviously not an original thing. When we look at the back here, there are holes where a license plate bracket should go, and we can see when we look close at these holes that the body filler is thicker than the paint inside. Or I'm sorry, body filler is thicker than the metal inside, which is really troubling to me as a caretaker of these cars. On the other side of the car, one of the things that I see is that the door isn't fitted properly. The trim doesn't fold as it should, and the door doesn't close properly, so it always stands clear. It's not lined up here, and when we do shut the door, when we do shut it tightly, even though it still doesn't fit here, to open the door, you have to pull it so hard that it makes me afraid that we would snap the door handle, which again is not what I expect. A small point is that that radio is not an original 1970 radio either. And I'm almost embarrassed to just have a litany of complaints here. But this steering wheel, the steering wheel was recoated, and whoever did it resprayed the whole wheel, and it can't be sprayed here on the bright aluminum because the finish comes off, and when you zoom in on it, you can see how the finish has already started to split away, and we haven't even driven this car, and that edge that I'm showing you now, that's a razor sharp line. You can slice your finger open steering this car, and it's particularly troubling to me since we got the blue car back, and it had all the same issues in the body, and it had the very same thing on the steering wheel.